JB here, August 27, 2021. Gonna be really quick. We hear you. The spy must go on, right? So really quick, just gonna talk. I'll talk a little about NetEase. I'm sitting kind of cautiously. I was ready to put in a limit for 250, maybe $3. If it gets down to 93 again, I'll probably look to close the rest out. I'll talk quick about Ulta and Burlington, MasterCard, and Intercept SPY, and go from there. So anybody listened to Powell's speech, pretty much, said, I guess, what everybody was expecting, that they're going to do some type of taper, but it's independent of rates. So that's going to be a different criteria that they're going to use to eventually start to raise rates. So the market kind of, applauded his speech. Not to mention the market was off a little bit, but now besides the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow hit all-time highs. So we'll have to see how this plays out in the next couple of weeks, especially as earnings start to wind down, and then we get into a historically rocky seasonality in terms of what happens at the markets. So NetEase, you take a look at what's going on in China, and it continues to be more rhetoric around regulations and concerns. NetEase reports earnings next Tuesday. I think it's 4 a.m. Typically, they reported like late at night, maybe 7, 8 o'clock at night, right as the after-hour session ended. So it was tough to tell if it was a good report or not, because you wouldn't know until the next day when the market, pre-market opened. But it looks like they report in the morning, Tuesday morning. I'm sure it's going to be a solid report. So considering where it's come down from $130 pretty rapidly, maybe opportunity for a bounce possibly. And I think that's some of the reason why you see the stock up while some of these other China names are down. I mean, Bob is down 2.5% right now. So not that they trade in lockstep. So maybe an opportunity there. But again, I still have just a couple 92s left. I was going to sell them yesterday, but I'm like, what happens if there's some kind of positive news in China? Some of these China ADRs can gap up 5, 6, 7% if China stocks rocketed or what have you. So that's kind of the thought process there. So at some point I'll lock them out probably before noon. If it gets back over into the 94, 95 handle would be nice. Gosh, Ulta yesterday. What more can I say about that? I've so many years trading Ulta options, some of these names that have volatile swings post earnings. Ulta's one of those names, and I could probably go back and find some other scenarios where I've traded Ulta puts and calls on earnings where the stock has just had this huge swing right after the open, and if you're lucky, you're able to get a fill on a position. I put in some market orders. I talked about it on the the watch list. I talked about when I did my morning rant. I put it in at 0.30. Sure enough, I hear a ring a ding ding, but I don't know which got filled because I'm looking at other stocks. By the time I look at it and then look at the bid ask, if I posted it, I did post it, but I said it's impossible for get a fill I got. The bid was already higher than where I got it, and then the ask was like $5, and the stock was still like 413. So who knows? And then I'll have other people they chase. Anytime I post a trade, people just blindly put in market orders. That sometimes it looks like. So I don't want to be in a it's tough. So I guess I'll have a tweet better prepared and an update better prepared, so when I do get an entry, people have a better understanding of why I'm in and the possibility, of course, with the option expiring 2 days and it being $25 out of the money, the odds of it expiring worthless are pretty high. So, but sure enough, I saw that, and the move down in Shoe Carnival the day before, and then you saw Burlington with concerns around their margins and supply issues, causing, I guess, I don't know if there's logistical issues that are causing a drain on their margins. But then you saw Burlington off despite good results. So I thought, hey, here's a good opportunity. It's still down. And maybe you look at the chart and I'm like, well, maybe it goes under $300. A lot of people have always looked at Burlington, say it's a pretty overvalued brick and mortar retailer, right? I mean, it doesn't have a lot of, how would you say, it's a moat around their business besides it being inexpensive and people like to shop there. I've never been in one, by the way, just food for thought. But so I went and got some of those puts. Sure enough, it gets down to 312, bounces. It's still down here at 315. And pending any crazy sell-offs, it's going to be tough for those to come back into play. But I'm looking, I said, that might be an opportunity to play into the 280s if we do get market weakness next week. So I will be looking to possibly, that might be part of a hedge play if we do get some weakness. So I'll continue to keep my eyes on it. Probably going to keep my keep what I have. Obviously, it looks like it's going to expire, and then maybe re-enter next week. But that was kind of the thought process there on Burlington. MasterCard, and I've went on these rants many times. And you take a look at the chart too now on MasterCard, but just looking where everything's going in regards to payments and third-party processors, and then you look at what's going on with the economy, and you think maybe we're peak earnings or what have you. So if spending and things like that are kind of peaked out for now, you would have maybe these MasterCard and Visa are opportunities at least for a short-term downside. I mean, of course, these companies are flush with cash with stock buybacks. So, I mean, fundamentally sound. It's tough to kind of poke holes in the story, but you take a look at the chart, and MasterCard's right at the moving average. Is it the 50 and the 2? Let's see. It's not going to be a bearish crossover. No, well, it's right. It's underneath the 200-day moving average. So it closed under it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No, last week, bounced Monday, Tuesday, and then closed back under it yesterday. Here it is. Lower Bollinger Band is 351.26. So I guess that's support for now, but it hasn't crossed that 200-day moving average since February when it was a $320 stock. Kind of the thought process on that one. Doesn't look like it's going to work out, but that was more of a hedge today into Jackson Hole, and I'll continue to look at that one for possible hedges if we do have some kind of market weakness. Intercept. I mean, here's a story. I mean, the stock did it hit $500 on positive Nash data back? It might be back in 2013. Let's see if I can find out when it was. Doesn't mean it's going back to that. Let's see. Did it hit? It hit $500 on positive Nash data, and then it's just melted ever since. They do have a product on the market. Actually, produces revenues for them, and they trade $340 million in sales, $470 million market cap. So that's pretty impressive. And then on the flip side, you take a look at what's going on with all these short names, and you take a look at the Sprout, and not the Sprout. I always think Sprout. Support.com. Huge short interest, small market cap, small float, small outstanding share count, and then everybody just gets in it. It just becomes one of these self-fulfilling prophecies in regards to a short squeeze. I'm not saying the same thing's going to happen here with Intercept, but you take a look at the fundamentals. It's not a company that's going out of business. They've had a lot of issues, and there's a possible wild card where the FDA might reverse course on their NASH drug, which was supposed to be approved last summer. So it's a lot of reason why you see the stock just getting destroyed. There's always been concerns too about their I forget how to pronounce it. I don't even want to murder the word, but I think there was a black label warning on it that there could be some issues in regards to dosage. So if there's too much dosage could cause side effects. So that kind of weighed on the stock. But I think you take a look at where it is now, and I'm like, wow, this is. I mean, even as a Gilead could have bought them, and there were rumors they were going to buy them when they had the FDA panel, when the stock was $120. And Gilead director, one of the directors was actually in the meeting for the FDA panel where they had to vote. The AdCom, right, the advisory council. So now here it is, substantially less expensive. It's a $470 million company. I mean, why would Gilead not just try and pocket this as a potential product, especially with their revenues too? Gilead also, they acquired 2 other companies in NASH, and I think one of those already failed. So a little pocket acquisition. M&A, which there's been some bio names, TRIL this week. And then you look like Sage Therapeutics. Some of these names, you have to think at some point they're going to get acquired. But I've been saying that for quite some time. So that's Intercept. That's why I have the 15 strikes. Are they almost a double? 50-cent average. So let's see. I didn't even pull up my thing here. The 80, 70, 70 by 85. Right, they're getting there. So I'll probably have some up just at $1 to close some out and then ride the rest. The thing is, it's not slow down, drink some water. The thing is, it's not even September, the first week in September, and these are September strikes. So we have next Friday, the Friday after that. You got to incorporate Labor Day. So Labor Day is not this coming Monday, next Monday. And I'm pretty sure it's always a market holiday, right? Unless I am mistaken, but I'm pretty sure. Wow's finally starting to look good here. 5. Yeah, so Monday, September 6th. So you remove today, and then you still have still 14 trading days for Intercept, for for a while. Yeah, to really start going. So that's a good thing. What else do we have here? Oh, some other names. Lottos today. Twilio, right? So you take a look at that chart. That one came down to the 200-day moving average. I think I posted on the, and it looks like it was just starting to. Let's see if I have this on the daily, which I don't. Yeah, it's right at the 200. Take a look at this consolidation. I mean, you can make the case that maybe this is somewhat of a bear flag setting up. I guess you can make that case, but certainly at some point. And I think there were news. They're doing some dual listing. Like I think it's the first. There's two companies dual listing on some kind of like exchange. That's a new exchange backed by some of these folks. I forget what it's called. So Twilio and then Spotify. Spotify was last Friday, right? So I think they announced their buyback, 10 million shares. Last Friday, the stock spiked all the way up to 217, 218. And then it's done pretty well over this week, kind of, but flat. So not enough to do well for the calls, but good enough for the stock. And so it's right here at 227. Maybe that gets into the 240s in the next couple of days. So those are names I'm watching. Yeah. Oh, my Goosehead Insurance. I've been watching that one for a while. Yeah, Sage is doing well today. The thing with Sage I don't get is Biogen has a big stake in them, and I think it's like at $110 price. Like I think they acquired a stake, but at $110. I have to go back and look. When I remember, I think I had calls like the week before on Sage, and then they expired. And then Biogen announces that news, and you kind of like hold your breath, being oh my gosh, I might have missed out on a huge buyout, and then the stock soared, and then it sold off, and here's Sage into the 40s because of a lot of negative news on the data in regards to their products, their drugs. But another name like Biogen, would they just get the rest of their stake? I don't know if Biogen, they have a 20% stake. I can look it up, right? So you'd have to think it's got to be. Yeah, so they got a 10% stake. I think they have more than that. 6.2 million shares, and I think that stake it's like $100 and something price. So it's almost like in their best interest to either add more to their stake, right, or just acquire them. But anyway, that's it, folks. I'll try and get back on later. Let's have a great day. Rock and roll.